What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of my Next Gen Career Mode. This is episode number 80, and we start today's episode off with a game against Wolfsburg here in the Bundesliga at the Olympiastadion. And of course, this is the last game of the summer transfer window. As soon as this game ends, we've got transfer deadline day, and that will end the transfer window. And to be honest, you'll see my squad just a moment ago, as you see in that squad there. The squad we got right now is most likely going to be the squad we will stay with for transfer deadline day and obviously until January, because I have no plans whatsoever to do any big business. I really don't, and I don't even want to see any players leave unless they go on loan deals. Those players such as Zellerlem and Vernon I've got on the loan list. I don't want to see anyone leave either, so I'm perfectly happy with the business we've done so far. But even so, transfer deadline day will be after this game, and the first chance of this game would fall here in the 16th minute. We had a corner. Marco Reus crossed the ball in towards Hummels here. It was headed away only as far as Tony Kroos, but unfortunately his shot goes just over the bar and out for a goal kick. And we'd have another chance here in the 22nd minute as Wolfsburg get onto the ball and find Felipe here. It's a great challenge by Lasogga, and as Sam collects the ball, we play it over the top towards the runner Marco Reus. Reus beats his man, it goes through the centre. A really good chance here. I tried to round Forster, I didn't get it right, and unfortunately Wolfsburg cleared the ball away, so really poor from me there. And in the 35th minute, another chance here. Wolfsburg failed to get the ball away. It comes to Tony Kroos. Kroos collects the ball, nice little skill to beat his man. It goes down the right hand side with a step over and a ball roll, keeps on going, whips in a good cross towards Lasogga, but unfortunately it's another good save by Forster, and it is still a 0-0. And outside the first half would finish, and in the second half another chance for us here. Sydney Sam collects the ball and finds Lasogga. Lasogga turns over the top towards the runner Marco Reus, who goes through one-on-one, but Forster charges me down, puts me off, and I can only put the ball wide of the post and out for a goal kick. And in this game, to be honest, it was really frustrating because Wolfsburg, last year the side we faced and beat in the German Cup final, they didn't really attack, and my whole game plan for this game was to soak up and play on the counter-attack, because of course in that game they scored twice and looked really threatening. So my game plan really was to sit back, wait for them to attack and then counter on them. They didn't do that, I was hoping to score some goals like my fourth one in the German Cup final against them, where I sort of went on a counter and ended up winning the penalty and scored from it. But even so, just play counter-attacking football, and because they didn't attack, I didn't really know what to do. My game plan sort of went out the window, and I had a lot of chances, but I just wasn't converting them, and Forster was playing out of his skin, as he always seems to do on career mode, and I just couldn't seem to put the ball in the back of the net. As you see Gin to go for goal here, and it's blocked, and Yashil can't turn it in either as he puts the ball over the bar. It was a really frustrating game because it's just one of those where, and I'm sure you guys have the same sometimes, when you set up a game plan before the game, it's like, yep, this is what I'm going to do, this is how I'm going to beat the team, and then they do the opposite of what you expect them to do. It's really frustrating. As you can see here, the last chance would fall in injury time as Kevin Vollen gets onto the ball. Didn't really know where to go, to be honest, but eventually I found space to shoot, but again, Forster made the save, and I just, as you can see there, I had 10 shots compared to Wolfsburg's 3, and all of those came from outside the area. As Hermann crossed this ball into the far post here, Wolfsburg do get the ball away, and the game would end up finishing at 0-0. And I was just so frustrated because it finished 0-0. It's 5 games in, 2 wins, 3 draws, and I was so frustrated because that was a game where, Wolfsburg are a really good side on this game. They got some fantastic players. Of course, they were the German Cup finalists last year. We beat them in the final. They got some really good players, but I sat there and I just thought, why didn't they attack me? Do you know what I mean? Why didn't they want to go out there and try and score the goals, which they're clearly capable of doing? I was so annoyed about that, but still, we did indeed draw the game 0-0. That's 5 games in, 2 wins, 3 draws. Not the best of records so far to start our title defence off with, but we've already faced 2 big teams in Bayern Munich and Dortmund, and Wolfsburg are a great side as well, so I think you can forgive me for being a little bit subpar in the opening few games. But still, we did have transfer deadline day after that, and as you can see, I was just advancing and advancing and advancing. I had no plans to do anything whatsoever. A transfer offer did come in from Robin. Chelsea wanted him for 5.5 million. I asked for 15.5 million because I'd like to keep him here really. He's only 24 years old, already 80 overall, very capable centre-back and can play holding mid as well. So I'd rather keep him here, and as you can see, Chelsea weren't going to match the £15.5 million counter offer, so that's fine with me. He can stay, and I'm totally cool with that. And as you can see, I was just carry on advancing. I had no plans whatsoever to do anything at all because we had no money, and in order to buy a really decent new player we'd have to sell a player, and I didn't really want to do that because on transfer deadline day sometimes you can try and buy a player and it will take like 7 hours just to get your transfer offer accepted. So I thought there's no point in even risking it, do you know what I mean? A big came in for Reinhardt here, £3.3 million from Wolfsburg, the side we just faced. I asked for £7.3 million and wait and see what they say, because he's actually a really decent cover player, 90 stamina, very decent strength, very awesome to have in your side. So I don't really want to see him leave, and of course he won't either, because Wolfsburg didn't even bother getting back to us. And that's what I mean, you know, sometimes clubs won't get back to you, and it's a really frustrating thing, transfer deadline day on FIFA. They really need to work on it, to be honest, they really do. But anyway, that did end transfer deadline day, and, you know, I am sorry there was basically nothing to show, but at the end of the day, with about £600,000 left to spend, and all the business seemingly being done, I really didn't want to risk anything, sell a big player, and struggle to replace him. So transfer deadline day ends. As you'll see by the business we did, we spent, I think it was about £55 million or something ridiculous like that, as you'll see in just a moment as the clubs go by. Wait for it, there we are, £56.5 million, and we got 15.2 million. You know, we spent like 54 million on Kroos and Hummels, and, you know, a really expensive transfer window when you consider the fact that the only other player we got was Baumann, who's obviously a backup goalkeeper. A really expensive transfer window considering we spent like 54 million on just 2 players. But I do know that some people will sit there and say I did some bad business, but really, I think Kroos and Hummels are the 2 world-class players we need in this squad to finally win us the Champions League, hopefully, which we can do, touch wood, this year. As you can see, these were successful negotiations. Zila went to Udinese for 5 million, Schmelz went to Porto for 9 million, Mukhtar and Ostonali left on loans, and Marcos Rocha went to Hamburg. Baumann came in for 2.5 million, Kroos came in for 30 million plus Maya, and Hummels came in for 24 million, and as you can see there, Schmelzer did lead to Porto for 9 million, and again, I'm sorry I didn't show that in the episode before the last one. So yeah, you know, transfer deadline day and just transfer window in general, I do know some of you will probably sit there and think you overspent massively for Kroos, 30 million plus a good hot prospect in Maya. You know, and I know some people say that, you know, 24 million for Hummels, that's way too much considering the fact your centre back area is really strong anyway. But to be honest, again, I really do feel as though, you know, next year, or this season I should say, sorry, if we do want to win the Champions League, and if we do want to win it, you know, we have to have the best squad. You know, we really do. Last year we took on Real Madrid in the final, and I just, you know, despite the fact we played really, really well and should have won the game had Neuer not been incredible, I still feel as though had we had that one world-class player like Toni Kroos in the side as well to help us out, another world-class player like Kroos to help us out, someone like Hummels to protect the back line, we could have done it, you know, and that's kind of frustrating that we didn't have those players other than Lasogga really, and Royce as well, at our disposal. So, you know, next year, this year, I keep saying next year, this season, I really do feel as though with those 2 additions in Kroos and Hummels, we can definitely win the Champions League if we're good enough, which I think we will be able to. But even so, let's look at the league table. We're in 5th so far, 2 wins and 3 draws. Here's our Champions League group. We've got Milan, Galatasaray and Anderlecht, so I think we should be able to qualify from that from top. Could be quite difficult. Milan and Galatasaray aren't bad teams, but even so, we'll have to wait and see. And we also had some international qualifiers here with the Netherlands as well. You'll see the group we've got as well. This is the new qualifying group for the World Cup. That'll be in 2018 in Russia. Not sure whether we'll get to play that during this career mode. It'll depend on how many episodes we've got to go before FIFA 15, but even so, we've got some World Cup qualifiers. And I also do know that, you know, international football doesn't suit everyone. I know when the Euros came around, not everyone was totally looking forward to the episodes, and I do understand that. I do know that international football is like a side story in career mode, but it's still something which some do enjoy, and I think it's just a nice little addition, do you know what I mean? It's a nice little addition to break up the pattern of just club, and nothing else. I like the fact that you can have a nation in there as well to work with too. Give you 2 things to work with in the same career mode. So yeah, I do know that, you know, international football isn't the most enjoyable thing for some people, but I still think it's okay, and there you go. So yeah, we took on Switzerland. We won that game by 1-0. We then saw that Sebastian Young wants a new contract, as did Gnabry, I think, but we also had another World Cup qualifier with Slovenia here, and Lenz gave us the first goal of the game in 8th minute. De Jong then got us our second goal in the 49th minute. Densville also got an injury in this game, and despite Slovenia pulling one back to make it 2-1, we did still manage to win the game, and that is good to make it 2 wins from our opening 2 games in our World Cup qualifying group. And these are the teams you got: Switzerland, Slovenia, Scotland, Czech Republic and Denmark. I definitely feel as though we should be able to win that group. And also, to end the episode off, I'll show you the team. I have switched formation now. I'm going to play a 3-5-2. Ter Stegen in goal, back 3 of Ginter, our captain, Hummels and Bastuber, William Carvalho and Goretzka playing holding mid, Sam and Schürrle on the right and left mid, Kroos is the CAM, and a strike partnership of Lasogga and Marco Reus, because Reus, as you can see, can play as a striker. So I'm going to play play 2 up top and hopefully score a lot of goals this season. But as always, guys, a big thank you for watching the video. I really hope you have enjoyed it. If you have enjoyed the episode, please leave a like, because it's much appreciated. It really does help my channel out. And I'll see you for the next episode of my Next Gen Career Mode very soon.